First of all, let me present myself. I am Mara Tanelli, a full professor of automatic control at Politecnico di Milano. I am 42 and I have 3 kids, 10, 8 and 7 years old, 2 boys and a girl. I teach a basic course on fundamentals of automatic control at the second year of the Bachelor in Automation and Control Engineering, and the more advanced course on data-driven modeling of dynamical systems at the Master of Science in Management Engineering. And I am also very involved in my institution, where since 2018 I serve in the steering committee of POP, which coordinates all the efforts that we are pursuing on diversity and inclusion. POP stands for Equal Opportunities at Politecnico di Milano. Gender equality is of course a strong imperative that we are pursuing, but it's not the only one. We foster equality and inclusion along many other directions: different abilities, mental health, different sexual orientations, different cultures. Our institution works hard to design and actuate positive actions with significant budget commitments, which indeed stands out as a very distinctive position in the Italian panorama. And I have also the honor of serving as students' advocate for the 2020-2023 period. And the fact that I've been nominated for this role by the students themselves is one of the greatest achievements and satisfactions of my career. Through this role, and by everyday teaching and supervising activity, I try to be true to my values and to foster diversity and inclusion as much as I can. So how do I do it? I will for now concentrate on gender equality and then talk more broadly also of other aspects. So let's start from a fact. Women are very few in technical universities in general, and in the so-called hard science courses in particular. You can see in the picture my research group. The picture is from the last in-presence graduation day, and I invite you to spot the few girls. They are few indeed, and they feel it. So don't forget that the key to feel included is to feel deeply that you belong to the place and the community you are living in. And if you are a girl in a class of, say, computer engineering, feeling that you belong to it is in general harder than for boys. And this most often starts many years before you see them in class at the university, as the early socialization of different disciplines has a strong impact on girls. And I'm talking about the general approach of presenting read and write related competencies as competencies that must and can be acquired via trial and error, while math-based ones are more built-in, are those for which you must be gifted in some sense in order to succeed. And as girls are biologically early learners of communication skills, they are therefore more prone to capture more deeply the messages that adults send them on these issues. And then they grow within a male-oriented society where role congruity tells them that they belong to where they see other women belong and to where their families, their friends' families, media and society at large pictures women to be. And so at 15 years old, girls who are studying at science-oriented high schools disproportionately see themselves projected towards a health professional future rather than towards science and ICT careers, while the opposite is true for boys. If we now fast forward to the university enrollment, and you can see the data taken from the 2020 enrollment at the first year of the bachelor's degree at the Politecnico di Milano, you can see very basic stereotypes in action. The course with fewer girls is mechanical engineering, while the most wanted one is biomedical engineering. So is biomedical engineering less technical? No. Is it less hard? No again. It simply conveys, mainly through its name, this caring word in which girls are trained to feel at home. So how can we teach fostering and promoting equality and inclusion? I think that first of all we must be well aware of this context so that we can set the stage. And then we should try to remember that we are among the most important role models for them and try our best to show these values in action. And I think that female professors of hard sciences have a special role in it. As an example, I teach to control engineering students the very first course on the core discipline they have chosen to specialize in, fundamentals of automatic control. And I think it's very good for them that it is a woman teaching it. And I make a point to myself of showing them that I am a woman indeed, and I do not need to play male to be credible and respected. And I make a point of showing them my womanhood through clothes, makeup, red nails, and so on. But be careful, not because women have any obligation in this respect, but because as I like being feminine in these ways, I do not have to disguise it because I am an engineering professor. And I think this is a message to girls, that they can belong without compromising, but also a strong message to boys, saying that women can undoubtedly be scientists, engineers, and all they want without having to give up their womanhood in return. And I'm also very careful with language. Italian is a gendered language with a masculine overall plural, and I made a conscious and consistent decision to always use both feminine and masculine words when I start my salutation in emails to students, and I use feminine to refer to my job titles. This is something that is still not quite used, and which lives with the idea that titles are more worth if they have a masculine dissonance. This may seem a little thing, but freeing the feminine dissonance to male-oriented profession titles is the first step to spread the presence of women in these roles, so that they can be perceived as fully belonging to the game. And along these lines I behave as far as my leadership model is concerned. I like listening to people, spending time with them, as I truly think that this is the real value behind any life and working experience. And I let my students see it. They appreciate it, and it has never posed any authority problem in our relationship, as I think that you can always be authoritative without being authoritarian. And this also lets me be inclusive towards myself, and I, as I think us all, feel well if we are true to ourselves. And this, I believe, is the real first step that all of us should take before being effective in including others.